Hello, hello. It is your girl, Sean LeRae, and we are back tonight on this beautiful Wednesday with Boss Talk. And y'all know that's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars, and that's you. So I am excited to be here yet again on Wednesday night. And, we've been doing this now. My goodness, it's been almost a year and a half, I'm pretty sure by now. And I am just really excited for the direction that Boss Talk is going. I've been having a really good time. And I just want to thank you all for tuning in and joining me on Wednesday nights at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We are, let's see, what is going on for me this week? Because, I like to check in with y'all. What's happening in your lives out there for this week? This is a Wednesday. It is the week of Easter, so it's Holy Week. We are leaning into Good Friday in a couple of days. So tell me what this season means for you out there. We've been in Lent for the past 30 plus days. Is there anything in particular that anybody out there did this year for Lent? What was your sacrifice for this time? To speak to just what your plans are for this season and honoring the great sacrifice that our Savior made for us. How about that? Ooh, I love it. So when I looked at the calendar, I was in shock that, Easter was already this Sunday. It feels really early to me. But then I realized that sometimes I remember there was one year that it was actually at the end of March, I think, or something like that. Am I crazy? But I think that happened. But I know that it changes, but it seemed just really early to me this year. And so I just am grateful. I'm living in full gratitude for the season that we're in right now, because I have had challenging seasons in the last couple of years, as you know, and some days more challenging than others. But I'm grateful and happy to say that I feel good. And I like to feel good. Y'all know that about me. My motto is, it feels good to feel good. It feels bad to feel bad. So I choose to feel good. So tonight, I'm really, really excited about this show because as you all know, I have been talking about dating. As you all know, I'm a licensed marriage family therapist. Therefore, I'm a relationship expert. And I work with a lot of couples. I work with a lot of single women, single men who are seeking relationship and who really are, looking for their companions. And when I think about that, I also think about how important it is that we do everything with intention, right? And so I got to thinking, I was talking to some therapist friends of mine, and we were comparing notes kind of on some of the things that the women in our practices were coming in with, but also some of the gentlemen. And the common thread was this dating thing, right? Dating is very different than it used to be. And I don't know, there's a lot of controversy around this statement I'm about to make, but it's also very different in California than it is in some other cities. And, so a lot of the women were talking about just how difficult it is not only to meet someone, but to meet someone interested in the same things that you are in terms of longevity and relationship and connection and those kinds of things. So we got to talking and we came up with an idea to do a dating workshop for women. So we've had to postpone it a couple of times, but we are very excited. It is on and popping for this month, the end of the month, April. So tonight I have my two partners in the journey with me tonight to discuss the idea of what it is to be dating from the soul. And when I think about, all things are spiritual in this world, right? And so there is a connection to mind, body, spirit with every part of us. And so tonight we're going to talk about what it is to date in a way that aligns with your soul, with your who you are-ness, and with your authentic, that is in fact your authentic self. So take this moment right here, reach out to somebody. Hey, Jackie, thanks for tuning in. Jackie Henry said, amen. Absolutely, girl. So we want you to take a moment and share the link. Share the link right now with a sister friend that you think needs to be here, or a brother man that you think needs to be in the house tonight. So I want to get busy introducing you to my ladies for the evening. So they are both near and dear to my heart. And I love it when my people get to know my people, right? And so I have known Chantel, Denise for, ooh, Lord have mercy, for a good long time. And now I've known Gwendolyn for a good long time as well. And they got to meet one another these last couple of years. And it has been the most amazing wonderfulness to have your people love your people. So, oh, hey, somebody, a dear friend and connection is in the house. Hello, Miss Candy Lewis from the Positive Results Center. It is so nice to have you here tonight. Thank you for tuning in. And you know, Candy, we really have to get you scheduled to come on the show. There's something doing, my lipstick is doing a thing here. Let me see. Okay. So we have to get you on, girl. And I'm excited about that. Let's see. Hey, Gigi, nice to meet you. I mean, nice to see you. That's funny. Nice to see you. And she says, welcome, Chantel and Gwen. And Candy says, greetings, Sister Queen. Absolutely. So I'm going to now bring on the other Sister Queens right now. So I'll bring on first Miss Gwendolyn Goodman. Hey, sister.
Hey now.
Good to see you. Thanks for
it's good to be seen.
Absolutely, huh? Oh, Sora Rhonda says hi.
Hi, Sora.
Say hello to a Sister Delta.
That's right.
So, Gwendolyn, thank you for tuning in. So first, tell the Boss Talkers a little bit about you, what you do, how you do it, and all that good stuff.
Well, I wear a lot of hats, but
that's quite
yeah, just a lot of hats. But the one we're going to focus on, which is what I plan to deliver during our Dating from the Soul workshop, is really personality temperament. And I'm going to call on my 25 years of personality theory study. My master's is in human behavior. So that is a topic that makes my heart go fast and has. And I think it's really relevant for today's time when there's so much talk about diversity and racism and what makes people tick or not. And so it's so important that we know who we are and who's in front of us. And when you look at personality theory, it gives you something to work with. And so that's what we're going to talk about. One Solution is a human resources, business development, and training company. And we're a consortium in our strategy for doing business. On the human resources side, I work with my area of expertise in human resources, pardon me, is performance management. And that's what I love, and that's what I deliver. But I have business partners, and when there's a deal that is sold that requires, let's say, payroll or benefits, I have partners that come in on the deal so that we are able to offer a complete human resources solution. But I get to deliver from my passion, which is really just working with the people and bringing a great talent up to their highest levels of performance for the business. So that's
Mm.
what I do. That's what I love on the human resources side. And in the dating arena, it is so important in all of our relationships, frankly. It's important to understand how you show up in the world, to have some self knowledge. And I like to call self source. That is what we reference in the temperament work as source. Of course, my source, because I'm a God girl.
Yes,
Um,
yes.
is God, but in the languaging for for that delivery around temperament, it's looking at source being starting with you, and then moving outward.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's what we do, and
I
I'm
love that. I love that.
excited
Thank
about
you.
excited.
Doing this. Yes, yes. Well, let's get our other sister queen in here, Miss Chantel
Yeah,
Denise.
yeah, yeah.
There she is. Hello, hello, love.
Hello, hello, y'all. How y'all doing?
We
Great,
do.
really good.
Awesome, awesome.
So good to see you, my sister.
Good to see you too.
So do tell the boss talkers a little bit about you.
Well, hello, boss talkers. I am Chantel Denise. Really, Chantel Denise Stein, right? But you know that AKA thing, Chantel Denise always keeps popping up. But I am a woman of worth coach and advocate. And I have many hats as Gwen does. I am a mother, a wife. I am also an entrepreneur, trying to hold down this business that I'm running. And I just love being able to really spread the message of worth. And I'm really excited about this dating conference that we're going to do, because when you talk about worth and dating, they go hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
100%.
And so I just really believe that God has put me on this earth to really, really speak that message, because it's very important for people to really understand who they are from inside out, what they offer, what they bring to the table, what they should not bring to the table.
Is that
And what to be looking out for. I
Mhm.
feel like one of the things I really want to do is really kind of like share some things in my journey, in my life. I am married, but I am a heavy dater. My husband and I go out weekly.
Right.
Yes.
That's our thing. And we really believe it's important. And I believe it's important that you continue to date, whether you are single or married, because
Mm,
dating is an element of exploring one another and discovering one another. And
yes.
so I'm hoping that I'll be able to contribute to this panel and, share some more tips and tools. But I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me again. I appreciate you.
Yes, I feel like both of you guys are Boss Talk regular guests. But that's because we do life together, and we do great life together, as a matter of
We
fact. And
do.
so
We do.
I love all the ways that we connect and intersect. Let's talk about our connections. So one thing that Gwendolyn and I are, especially Gwendolyn, are members of BWN and on the board, and I am Gwendolyn's little sister, mentee in that work. And wow. And then Chantel Denise is connected to BWN through me, and now through Gwen, and then through the contributions that she has given to the organization. Because
Yes.
let's go back. I think you spoke and sang
Yes.
at our 2020 conference online,
Right.
right? And
Yes.
so that was, and you debuted your anthem, I believe, was the song that you sang. I feel like, am I getting
In
that right? I
2020,
believe that was it. Yeah.
I think it was a song.
And then because, yeah, so nice, we loved it twice, so we had her back again to speak. Did she speak again, or to perform at our? I think she performed another time, but then finally and most recently at our conference. Or well, what do we call it this year? It was a was it kind of like a mini conference? I guess it was.
Yes,
Yeah,
it actually was. We pivoted our conference, so
Mm-hmm.
we had just a select number of people in the room. We kept the audience to very select. It was 100 people. So
Mm-hmm.
if you got that ticket, you were really fortunate.
That's right. That's
And
right.
we were talking about pivoting and the great challenge that can be. And we're able to look at the example of the powerful life of Tina Turner. And
Yes.
so Chantel brought for us the songbook of Tina Turner's life. She delivered that songbook for the audience. Pardon me. And we got a chance to kind of feel her story
Mm-hmm.
in the delivery of those songs for just living your best life, coming
Absolutely.
from wherever you are to where you want to go, or where, and in her case, she certainly turned her life around in huge ways.
Right.
So
Right.
great example of a pivoter.
Yes. Yes. And Chantel Denise delivered it with the way only she can.
Exactly.
If you have not seen Chantel Denise's Tina Turner review, you have missed a huge treat. And if you
Yes.
ever hear about it, you need to be in the house, in the room.
House.
It's fantastic. She does Tina so good. It's like she does Tina about as better than Tina in a way.
Better than
You know?
Tina. Absolutely. We
I'm gonna
I
certainly
love
heard.
I'm gonna pay you guys later.
Thank you. Not at all. So
No money
hello,
needs to exchange.
that's right.
The
Hello, Veronica.
talent,
So
it speaks so loudly that you couldn't compensate us.
That's right. That's right. Let's say hello to my soror Veronica from Atlanta. Hi, Sean. Looking forward to the show. Perfect. This is going to be a good one. Jackie says, "Hey, my sister Gwen."
Hey.
Gwendolyn, she said. And John, the husband said, "Every week our date is a highlight." Absolutely.
Ooh, I love
And
it.
I can attest to that. Hey, Dr. Thiele is in the house. She says, "Hey, my favorite people."
Hey,
Absolutely. And
Elaine.
Thiele was there at that conference that Chantel delivered Miss Tina to us. And let's see who else we got here. Hey, sisters, happy to join you. Thank you, Trina. Nice to see you. Now that's Trina Lawson of the Trina Lawson Group.
Hey now.
With getting your businesses together, connecting you to all the things that you need to have a successful business. If you need some connection, holla at that girl. So let's talk a little bit about our event, because dating from the soul. I'm going to ask each one of you to kind of share what that means for you, what that title means for you, how you see that. Let's start with you, Shani.
Well, thank you for that question, because for me, the soul is all of you. It's every part of you. It's your being, your essence, your aura, how you walk up and show up in a room, and life in general. And so when I think about dating from the soul, I think about it's having every part of me. Like there is no I'm holding back. It's not a 50 deal or a 60 deal, it's 100 deal. And that's the 100 not from the other person, but it's from me. Like,
Right.
am I giving all of me in a relationship? And so when I think about dating from the soul, I think about going down deep within and really allowing yourself to just be.
Mm.
Not coming in with any pauses, any hesitations, because if you do, what happens, the soul can be in turmoil sometimes, right? I
Ooh,
mean,
come on,
when you
speak.
get mad, your soul is in turmoil. If you're mad, and you can check your blood pressure is up, everything's up, right? So
Right.
like when you think about in dating, like if you're coming in with just pieces of you, you're really not get the wholeness and the fullness that you desire to actually experience. It's just incomplete,
Yes.
and it's just like when we get mad and our soul is rumbling, we're incomplete in those moments. We're not
Yes.
fully allowing ourselves to be present in that peace in those moments. So people are not really getting the all of the real us. They're only getting a version that's in that moment.
Yes. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Gwendolyn, how about you?
All righty then. Well, I've had an opportunity to, well, let's see. No, I think we were on Instagram. I was going to say that I've already kind of shared with the Boss Talkers, but that wasn't here.
No. Right.
So, what it is for me in terms of dating from the soul is very similar to what Chantel just shared. And that is that it is from a space of self knowledge. And so it's coming into a relationship, fully knowing yourself, or I guess we can't ever really fully know ourselves, but we come in with having done some introspective work, so that we have done the self work, so that we are bringing a 100 to the table. And we're looking for another person that is 100, so that you're coming together as two completely whole people, and you're going to make something that's going to be what the two of you create together, as your soul satisfying relationship. So that is where we'll share with our attendees some work in personality temperament, and we're going to use an instrument that makes the learning of personality temperament easy, because we're going to use a model called True Colors, and it takes the Myers-Briggs science down to 4 colors. And so they'll walk away learning a little bit about what each of those personality temperaments bring, how they like to show up in the world, and consequently are able, as a person dating and seeking that other 100, you have some knowledge about what those temperaments look like. And all of us are have some attributes of the entire spectrum.
Right.
And so that's what we're going to spend a little time unpacking and delving into, that knowledge of self.
I
With a
love
tool.
that.
With them
Thank
walking away with a tool.
Yeah. So Jackie agreed 100%. She said, and William Seals says that he's looking forward to learning something this evening. Well, thank you. That's a good thing. You're in the right place, because we want to kind of drop some understanding of what our purpose is coming forward and doing this event. And when I, thought about it and thought about the title, a little bit of everything that you all said was definitely in my spirit. It was the idea of dating from a place of knowing, owning, loving, honoring, and accepting oneself. Because like you, Chantel, I believe the soul is the full true essence of all of who we are. And, I think the way that we're built as human beings by God is that we share that essence. But as we, not but, and as we live and grow some more, we
Right.
pick up little things along the way that sort of taints our essence, right? And so we have, this thing or that thing happened. Someone said or did this to us as a child, and it stuck. We didn't have the right attachment, and it stuck. We were hurt in some way, or some ways, plural, by something, or someone, and those things stick to us. And so then our who you are-ness gets a little wrinkled, right, as we grow, and then we recognize, oh, there's an opposite sex, or oh, there, ooh, he's cute, ooh, she's cute, and we start wanting to get with somebody, and then we're bringing all this like crumpled stuff to them and handing it to them, and then they got their crumpled stuff on top, and it's just a crumpled mess. And then we want to know why nobody's happy in the relationship.
Right.
And so,
point.
as a clinician, people come to me all the time with a lot of broken pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to help people understand that those broken pieces of you are beautiful because they make up part of who you are too. But there's a way to smooth them out, clear them away, that makes you healthy as you come and walk into a relationship. And so I think that, when we talk about, to become one, that then, that's where people start thinking that, well, I can put my half with his half, and now we're one. And it's like, no, you bring your 100, let him bring his 100, and now y'all 200, and you're nice and whole. Okay.
That's a good, I wanted to just, if you don't mind me chiming in on, that's a good thought that you're bringing up, or a good conversation, actually, just the whole percentage that people put on dating and relationships, like, oh, we give 50-50. That's a saying that's been going around the flood, right? And it's so inaccurate. It's a myth. Because if you think about it, if I give, just even for us as ladies, we're all in a relationship together. If I just give Gwen 50% of this sisterhood, like, she's missing a whole other half. She really is. She's missing a whole other half. And I think in dating, like, that's a mindset thing that has to be decluttered, because it's not healthy. Because you should never give half of yourself in anything. I appreciate you bringing that up. It's so important, because if you're going to sign up for a relationship, you need to sign up with all of you.
Absolutely.
You're not saying yes to a relationship based on this other person, because obviously you agreed to date that other person or been involved with that person. So that's on you for what you're experiencing. But your position and your place has always got to be all of you 100, or just go back to the drawing board. Don't date if you're going to do the halving, because the halving has never worked. It hasn't worked for me. I don't know if you ladies can relate, but it has not worked for me.
100%.
100%.
I love it.
100% in my marriage, or to my husband, when we were dating, that this thing started to work.
Right.
Yeah. And that's so true. And it's Thank you for that. Let's see what Bill Seals says. He says, this podcast should be televised. Boss Talk LA is the Boss Talk of LA. Your guests are outstanding, excellent information. Thank you so much. Y'all bringing it. Jackie agrees. She said, amen. Yes, indeed. And Mrs. Steinreich said, bring the 200%.
That's right.
Girls Like Me Global says, when one gets mad and their soul is murmuring and the soul is in turmoil, they're incomplete in those moments and not showing up whole or fully present at peace. Chantel Denise, that's right. So good. She got you down, girl. That's awesome. Veronica says, I saw it here in Atlanta. It was fabulous and amazing. What was that? I don't know. I must have missed that. Referring to the Tina Turner
experience.
Turner experience. Yes. Okay. Yes, indeed. Amazing is right.
Yeah. And that kind of leads, just camping on what Chantel was just sharing, and you were stating as well about, 100%, leads me to a thought around being the love that you want to attract. So that it's so important that you have done the self-work, that you have some understanding about the love you want, so that you can project that love and draw it back to yourself. So the only way to do that is to have done some work, some self-work, so that you're 100, you're in that space of readiness to give 100% of yourself.
Absolutely.
To your prepared mate. Because again, as a Christ follower, I'm looking, or if I were looking, because I got a 40-year in boo that I date on a regular basis.
Right.
So, but even there, I mean, we're growing and evolving. Your mate is not the person that you married, or my mate is not the person that I married 40 years ago. Um, Mercies are fresh every morning. He's a new guy
Mhm.
every morning, as I am a new woman every morning. And so we have had to come to a place where we understand that, and that we're looking to see each other through fresh eyes every day.
Yeah.
Keeping it fresh and new, and realizing that, we've got to check in with ourselves. Am I playing an old tape?
Mhm.
Around something that I'm thinking that, am I shoulding on something?
Mhm.
Um, when, a behavior shows itself or a change occurs, or am I seeing him with fresh eyes? And that is key when you're in relationship, is that you are showing up, one, as the love that you want to draw back to yourself, and that you're
Mhm.
bringing fresh and new. You're giving a person a chance to say, yesterday was yesterday. I saw it. I'm, seeking to be new today.
That's good.
And can you receive me?
Yes, yes. Well,
Oh, I
when
like
you
that.
talk about that, I think about one of the things that, that always is a question in a relationship is, what do we do when we don't agree, when the honeymoon is over, when, because in the beginning it's all giggles and smiles and all of that, and everybody's just on cloud nine, and it's a beautiful thing. But what happens when somebody says something that hurts your feelings, or that that, and what if it's one of those things that hurts your feelings, that you don't talk about, that no one knows, is a
Mm.
wound for you, and then somebody steps on that wound, the person you're trying to be in relationship with, and they step on that wound, and now you're feeling some type of way, and you're angry. And then that first time, you come together to have that situation talk, right? What happens a lot of times in relationships is we approach it with the anger that's bubbling in our belly, and
Hmm.
then here we are, now you're angry and you say something real wrong, and now, so whereas that person may have been able to recognize that you were hurt and apologize, now they can't, because their feathers have been ruffled, and all they're thinking about is how you came at them.
Hmm.
And then we have this whole big thing, and it's never about the thing that it started out being in the first place. So when we have those kinds of situations, what do you all suggest as a way of making that, of smoothing that over, so that it's not World War III, but in fact it's a conversation and not a confrontation? How do we help people get to that? And I think it's important for us as women to know that, because we sometimes are tenderhearted, and we often walk into a relationship expecting our partner to know where those landmines are. Right?
And I
So,
think that's the operative word, there, is that we're expecting our
mm,
partner to know where the landmines are, and they cannot know
mhm,
unless we have, um, unless we've said so.
mhm,
At least they have walked in our shoes every step of our journey to, that point in our lives. They couldn't possibly know. So it's so important for us to be able to, use that emotional intelligence and pull back.
mm,
And so many of us, of course, don't have those, emotional intelligence skills, and that's a part of what we do at One Solution, but it's a part of what we'll do, in this workshop as well, is give some folks, some tools so that they can look at, their own emotions, and be able to identify their emotions. What am I feeling? What did that thing bring up for me? And so that we can speak to our mate from a place of how it made me feel what you did or said. And that's, so key. I mean, Maya Angelou said it best. People will forget what you did and what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. So often the words are so powerful that come out of our mouths or our mates' mouths, that it can do irreparable damage unless we are able to pull back, see ourselves, and speak our truth. When something has injured, we need to be able to say that, that hurt me.
Indeed. Yes, indeed.
And
Girls like, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
And I was just going to say, and hopefully you've both evolved. See, that's when you've got that 100 person that's done the self work too, and can receive you, and hear that. You've got a full grown, in this case, man, because we're talking about, in this case, male female relationships. When he's full grown, he's going to be able to hear you. And a boy is going to respond boisterously and, give you a whole lot of drama because you're telling them how you feel. And they're not ready to hear that. They're not able to hear that. And I guess, Sean Lorray, you're the counselor there, but, they're that narcissistic personality.
Yes. Ooh, girl. That thing.
Which can be dangerous, to deal with when, when you're in a getting to know each other situation. But I think you can anytime in a relationship, trip up on, find something that maybe you didn't even know that wound was still raw. And one of your mate can trip over it. And then it is really about your own emotional intelligence in terms of being able to pull back and go, oh, why did that feel like that? Why did that trigger me so hard when he did or said, whatever might have, been said. And they're thinking, wow, it wasn't even that big a deal.
Right. And then you're like, but it was. Yes. And, and it makes sense because like what you said about if you're not in relationship for a while, then the wound is not hurting because it's not being tinkered with, right? So we think that they're healed. And in fact, time does not heal all wounds. You got to do some work. Gotcha. I can cut myself really deeply and bad and let it sit there and think that, in 2 weeks, it's going to be better. If I don't take care of it, it's not. So it's the same with our heart wounds and our love wounds and, the brokenness that we bring from other things, because a lot of times we bring into relationships wounds that had nothing to do with relationships, but believe me, they will bleed over into it if we are not doing the work and taking care of ourselves in that way. Girls Like Me said, mercies are fresh and new every morning. Yes, we are in Christ every day. This love, Gigi. Such truth gems. Absolutely. Dr. Thiele said, needed to be reminded of the need to see my partner with fresh eyes every day. Drop them gems, y'all. Hello, Brother Allen. He says, when someone says something that hurt your feelings, I believe in pushing the pause button so you don't burn the bridge created in a good relationship that you really want. That is so beautiful. Absolutely. And it's so true. And, I remember a long time ago, a sister at church said to me, because I was having some relationship issues with another woman, and she said to me, well, Sean Lorray, you don't have to respond right away. You can say, I need a moment to process that. I will get back to you. And I gotta tell you, those however many words changed my life, because I took that, and thank you, BJ. BJ Jefferson. I took those words and I use them to this day.
Right.
And so I love when you get those gems, because when people are dropping gems, sometimes we don't grasp them in the moment, and we might let them go by, but it may not be for that moment. For their foreshadowing of what may come up in your life if you continue in relationship, which we all do.
Right.
That you might need that another day, pull that out for such a time as this,
Right.
And so I think that we really have to be conscious of the things that we are learning all the time.
Right.
All the time.
So
now, Chantel, I know that you and John, you have your policy, your practice, your commitment actually to dating weekly. And so we touched on it, we stated it, but tell us and the Boss Talkers why that's so important and what that does for the relationship.
Oh, thank you for asking that, girl. So I think we've been married, it'll be 26 years in April 12th. And I think that the longer you're married or in a relationship, I think sometimes you tend to take it for granted. And so I noticed that for us, we started taking things for granted because we always see each other, we always have each other, right? And I think just, we had been dating previously before the pandemic, but the pandemic really made us really shift and make the commitment to it. Like, I'm committing, you're committing. What it has done for us, it has really allowed us to talk about any and everything. There is nothing hidden. Versus before, there were certain things that maybe have the eggshells, you walk on eggshells. Like, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to bring that up. We're able to really talk about any and everything. And I know some people might be like, well, I talk to my man about any and everything from day one. But what is it healthy? So we've been able to talk about things on a healthy level, and it's very important. And going back to what you guys were sharing earlier about really how to have a conversation in a relationship instead of like chaos. I forgot the other word you used, but I think that it actually helps us be dating weekly because we're connecting. We've done it a couple of times, but we've taken the kids out of the date. They're not a part of the conversation.
Yes.
We've taken Susie Q and the business stuff we got to do. It's not a part of the conversation. The conversation is about just us. How you doing, boo? What's going on with you? It's just really about us. But we have, fallen short at times when we were like, we're talking about these kids on this date. Like, what's that about? And I think what it's done for us, it's matured us to date healthy and well.
Oh, girl, thank you for that. I love that so much. Healthy and well, dating healthy and well. That is when you are dating from your soul. See, and what I also love, because this is you all know this word for me is intention. Because I love the intention that it must take to do that weekly without fail. And listen, y'all, I can attest to the fact that I know that this woman and that gentleman, Mr. John Stein, like, I know that every Friday they have their date. And on the occasional Friday, like last Friday, when we instead were doing a wonderful thing, we were doing the Woman of Worth, the WOW conference that Chantel Denise hosted. It was fantastic. And so they didn't get to have their date. But when I called her on Saturday saying, hey, what are you doing Saturdays? I will be having my date. So that's how you crush it. That's how you crush it in a relationship. You have to be intentional. Every day you have to be intentional because, listen, I know that you, Chantel, have 26 years with that man. Gwendolyn, how many do you and my brother have?
Let's try on 40.
Y'all make me want to dance. Okay,
Hallelujah.
I had
still
14.
Like him.
You still like him, absolutely. And I had 14.
He's my boo.
Joseph, and we were friends. but every day, no matter how much I loved that man, I had loved it in him, I wanted to some days choke his neck. And
Well,
I'm sure, and listen, and we talk, girls, we talk, I know,
Yep.
but there's this whole thing about you would not trade, right? But and you have to be intentional every day,
every day.
even in those times where that person who is your all
Right.
100% or more, but there are those days that you have to say to yourself, no, you mean this, you really do want to do this, and this is what you do. And it's good because we can be very impulsive when we listen sometimes to what we think is our heart and our mind. He wants part of the conversation.
Yes.
And when we can make a mistake based on a feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we have
Yes.
to give ourselves time to let those feelings settle
Mm-hmm.
and then come back, because you all know I talk about the brain. When you are feeling like, ooh, I can't believe he did that, and why he say that, and he knows and I don't, and this and that and the other and the neck, and what's happening is your frontal lobe is just like this, it's shut down, and that is the reason. Logic,
Logic.
thinking, critical thinking part of your brain.
Right.
Now back here is where that emotion lives. That thing is on fire. When that's going like this is going like this. Now, if you calm down, a little breathing, a little mindfulness, call your friend, feel a little bit of say a prayer. Woo! When that calms down, you can think again.
Yeah.
So don't make rash decisions. And
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, when you first start dating someone, we are so quick to be like, I don't like him. I don't like her. She this, she that, she the other, he that, the other. Give it a moment.
Give it a moment.
Give it a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not saying accept into your life something that you don't want and is not going to work for you. But don't be so quick, because I don't know. I can't even think of something really stupid right now
How can I add to that, Shauna Ray?
Yes,
You're talking about I don't like her, I don't like this. And I think that one of the things when I talk about dating healthy and well is you really got to ask yourself your why. When you're saying you don't like this about somebody and you don't like that, why? And a lot of times it comes from an old relationship that you never resolved something.
Thank you.
And so this person is showing up similar. And so you because you're not resolved, you've casted that on this person who could very well be an amazing person. One of the things I would say is that ask yourself why. Like, why do you not like? What's going on there? Is it a repetitive thing you're seeing in this relationship, or is this something from an old thing that you have, or are you just so picky that nobody will fit your resume except for Jesus?
Come on now, get them, girl.
Like,
Talk.
I mean, there's no perfect man, there's no perfect woman. There is just not. There's
That's
none.
right.
Zero, right?
That
And
is
so
so right.
I think that sometimes we have these high standards on people when we're not actually being them ourselves. And that's the one thing I had to learn for me is that, I even in my marriage, I'm going to be honest, I had high standards, but I was not those standards. And that's
Right.
what Gwen was talking about, like, really understanding yourself and being mature,
Sure.
knowing yourself
Right.
well enough so that you know what you're bringing and what, like, I'm looking forward to this dating conference because I think that is very important for people to start evaluating some of the choices they're making with saying things like, well, I don't like that about this person, and I don't like this, and I don't want to do that, and da 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 da. It's just a lot of nitpicky stuff, and I have been a huge nitpicker. I remember Judd told me, he's like, okay, he was so afraid. I was so nitpick so much that he was afraid to go and order food for me because he was afraid he was gonna come back and it was wrong. Because I'm nitpicking, like, oh, I need chicken on the side because I don't eat chicken, so you can have that. And then I need this kind of salad dressing, and I need I need 4 amount of pecans, and it's like a whole bunch of stuff, right? So
Look, at all my M&Ms need to be green.
So I think that we have to really evaluate a lot of how we approach relationships, whether they're female sisters, brothers, homeboys, male and female, all of it. We have to do the evaluation for ourselves, because at the end of the day, when we ask ourselves that why, we're going to get to the root of what's kind of going on. But we got to be willing to face it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I completely agree. That brings up a point for me around the things that you're kind of in some cases that you're nitpicky about, or that you're that push your buttons. It's really kind of a time to look at, is that something that's in me that I'm seeing in the other person and I'm responding or reacting to? It's like, am I upset because I do that? And that I said,
indeed.
I'm upset about it. And so, yeah, I would just caution in our relationships, and that's certainly in a dating relationship, but in our friends, with our sister girlfriends. So often you can be, or one can be, really judgmental, or really look at something critically.
Right.
And then, what I'm learning is that I need to pull back and say, okay, she's late again and I'm upset, but how many times have I been late?
Okay. That's right there.
And push somebody else's buttons. So, it's like, okay, I'm upset about that. It didn't value my time, and and yeah, it's upsetting me because I'm, it perhaps is me.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I would just, say to anyone that when something is really irritating you, when it's really giving you a brush, and there's a flame, there's a burn, it's like you might want to pull back and see if the reason that the burn is there is because you're seeing yourself.
I love that.
Absolutely. And dating tends to be, the people that we choose can be, they can be a mirror. You're choosing the same person doing the same thing. And you're, looking at that going, man, here I am again. With Mr.
Me showing up. 100%.
Mr. All Wrong.
Okay.
And it's like, but you're choosing. So what's wrong with your picker? What kind of work?
That part.
What do you need to do so that you're drawing better energy to yourself? You're able to draw the love because you're being the love that you want to see in your life.
Yes.
And we'll be looking during this workshop at some tools, because we'll be peeling back some of those things that we do when we're making a choice, and understanding what has prior dating taught us. For our attendees, they'll get a chance to look at that, peel back and say, let me look. I know, Shauna Ray, you had mentioned, the plan for some storytelling. And so thereby, that's where a lot of lessons will come from, and I would imagine if this workshop runs like many others, that there'll be many aha moments where folks will be like, yeah, wow. I see.
Yes. Sora Terry says, when you're having these types of conversations, you are also growing together, which is important. Absolutely. Right. 100%. I think that, when you're talking about so much of what you're talking about, the woman or the man in the mirror, why does that thing stick me like it sticks me? And all of those things are definitely related to how, we've seen that animal before.
Right.
And the one thing that I remember, and Chantel, you can attest to this, and I work this all day with my couples in this office, is that you marry the person who comes to help you heal your childhood wounds. And Chantel and I, and my late husband William, and I, and some other amazing couples went through a group where we, for 10 weeks, we read this book, Making Marriage Simple, and
Mhm.
did the work, the homework. And that was one of the tools that they talked about. And it's so true, because when you think about it, they always say that a girl falls in love with her dad, and a man always marries his mama. And it's so true. I mean, walking into my office so many times, that is the core of people's issues, is and they don't know why. They don't know
Mhm.
who this person reminds them of. So it's often you or that person who you connected with, who may have wounded you as a child, or who may have parented you in a certain way that doesn't work for you in your adult life. And you need to heal that. You need to grow from that. You need to fix that. God is always going to put the person there that's going to help you with that task. And it's
Right.
going to drive you insane.
So
But when
true.
you think about it, it's like, and so when we talk about that, I love that, as we said, the aha moments, the
Mhm.
opening, when that opening is there, that opening is for you to walk through into growth and healing. And that's also what this is going to be about. Ladies, we, can sit around in our little coffee clutches at brunch with the mimosa and a croissant and talk about these brothers out here. We can do that. However, when we leave there, we are still going back home alone and
Mm.
wishing that we were not. And
Right.
I'm here, and Chantel, Denise, and Gwendolyn are here to say, ladies, you don't have to be alone, but sometimes we need to get out of our own way.
Way.
Gentlemen, I say the same for you. You and your bros, playing cards or whatever y'all do, however y'all do what y'all do, but then you turn around and go home alone. A
Right.
high five and you're out the door, you're going home alone. And if you're not doing anything to dig in there and find out why, then you're doing yourself a disservice. And some beautiful woman out there is missing out on all your amazingness. And ladies, some handsome gent is out there missing out on all your amazingness. And it's no fun to be amazing all by yourself. So, we want you all to come and join us and learn what it means to date from your soul, be in alignment with the essence of who you are, your who you are-ness. You want to live in your authentic self according to your very own personality. Gwendolyn's going to help us with that using the color spectrum to understand who you are and live as a woman living in your worth.
Right.
Chantel Denise is going to help us with that. And
Mhm.
I'm going to help you to look back introspectively inside in a mindful way and come up with the answers of how you've been standing in the way of what you want. And we want you all to be in the house or on the screen.
Right. Right. Right.
Yes. So we are going to dating from the soul will take place live in California on Sunday, April 30th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. I know that sounds long, but don't worry, ladies, it'll be well worth it. It is a retreat. So we want you to dress comfortably. We want you to come ready to just feel all the love and all the sisterhood and bond and grow and examine your who you are-ness, so that when you walk out of there, you've polished your who you are-ness up a bit and you're ready to go out there and date looking through a new lens. So let's give them some information. to
Mhm.
register in person. And if you are in Los Angeles County, that means if you are in, how far does it go? It goes all the way to Palmdale, doesn't it? If you are Palmdale, Lancaster, we want you to get in the car early and get on down to Encino. If you're in Compton, West LA, Inglewood, Culver City, we want you to come across the hill to Encino. Now, if you're in Riverside County, still in California, but in Riverside County, we will let you come virtually. But all you Californians, you want to be in the room. Ladies, we're going to have swag bags for you with lots of goodies. We're going to have breakfast and lunch. We're going to have a spiritual healing dance. We're going to hear some spoken word. We're going to connect and do some mindfulness and some just energy work on ourselves, some breath work. And because it's important to be your very best self in order to put yourself out there in the dating world. 100%. So ladies, what would each of you like to share in parting?
Oh. Okay, I'll go. Well, I'm looking forward to this time as an architect for change,
I like it.
providing my clients with the tools to fly. And fly is an acronym that says first, love yourself.
Mm.
So, with them learning to fly, they'll be able to see themselves and others with grace and from a base of knowledge.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. Yes, thank
Ooh.
you. Ooh, and
I-
you know what? I just want to throw in there, when you had said something earlier, I thought grace. We need to date and honor with grace.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. I
Yeah.
absolutely agree that it's an important place and space to be in, and that's a space of grace, giving our partner grace, and I think that's particularly important in long term relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then it's interesting. I'll have a little joke about us as Christ followers. You know, sometimes you're in a relationship that's not healthy. And
Yes.
so the line is, well, how much grace? And,
Yeah,
for
right.
how long do
Okay.
I do this? And so, uh,
Right.
it's been said that Christ said, turn the other cheek. So you'll get one
Yeah.
turn. I only have two cheeks. So I'm going to turn once and I'm going to turn twice. But a third time, you're like out of
Sisters
here.
out.
I'm not Jesus. And it's not 70 times 70.
Please be
At some
clear.
point, you
Please
got to
be
grow
clear.
up and quit it.
Yes, ladies. And we are going to talk about the art of knowing when to let it go. Hello, somebody. Yes. So wait, Candy said, I love this conversation. Yes. And she said, wonderful, having been married for 40 years and can honestly say you all are speaking the truth. Amen. And Sister Alice, I'm excited. Well, we are excited. We want to see your face, your beautiful face in the house. Hey, Wayne Lindsay. Smiley faces back at you, bro. What do we got? Let's see. Who's that? Oh, Fly. That's a good one, Gwen. I like that. Lorraine, this is good. Thank you, Lorraine. Are you single, Lorraine? Because we want to see you if you are. And if you're not, we task you with telling all your single girls. So Chantel, Denise, tell us what you want to leave the folks with tonight.
Well, I really, first of all, I appreciate it. I've got me some gems from y'all. I was like, I don't know if you saw me typing a little bit, but I typed some stuff. But I am really excited to be able to bring to the table. I feel like I mentioned earlier, I really want women to really understand their own unique value as a human being. Not the things that they're good at, all the things that they're capable of doing, but who they are, who God made them, the design that He made them to be.
Yes.
Like, I really believe that that goes hand in hand with dating and anything that you do in life. It's important for me to really speak on that, because I think that when we really understand our own unique value, when we understand our worth, we
Yes.
go into relationships with that. That is the biggest thing that we could ever take, because that's like DNA type stuff. That's
Yes, girl.
the biggest thing we could ever take with us is our worth in a relationship. Because when we do that, we know what's not good, the kind of relationship that's not healthy and good. I think Gwen mentioned that. We will be able to know that. We will also be able to walk in it with that 100 that we were talking about earlier. It's so important understanding your worth, your value, and who you are. First of all, it's remarkable because it's imprinted by God. First of
Come
all,
on.
that's the first thing to understand. And I want to really inspire women to really let that ring loud in their relationships. It's got to ring loud for them. It's got to be like an alarm. People need to hear it. People need to see it inside of you. And I really, my desire is at this particular conference is that I will be able to really help as many people as possible really get that down with some tools on what it looks like and what it does not look like. So I'm looking forward to that. And so I'm very grateful. Thank you for having me on it. And
Yeah.
to be honest, I don't think it's just a single women thing. I think it's a woman thing to really understand how to date, period.
Period.
Yes.
Period. Understanding how to date from your soul. I think that we marrieds, we singles, we all can benefit from learning how to give
How
our
to
all
date.
in a relationship.
Yes. And I thank you for that, Chantel. You're absolutely right. I do believe that I want to do this again, because every time I start doing it for, start talking about the single women, then a married woman comes into my office and I'm like, "Oh, girl, yeah, no, we need to talk." So I think we have to come back together, girls, and do Dating from the Soul 2.0 for the married sisters in the house.
See?
I
Well,
think it's true, because
See?
one of the
That's the
things as
word.
women that we sometimes can fall into, if we are not certain and secure about our own who you are-ness, is that we morph into our partner and we think that that's what it means to let him lead.
yeah.
And
Mm,
so
Girl,
at some point,
that's a whole other master class.
yes, yes,
right
I
there.
was just gonna say, and we're not even gonna touch that tonight,
Be
ladies.
careful, that's a master class, boo.
Be in the house, because we're
See?
definitely going to talk about that piece at Dating for the Soul, because a lot of us sisters out there have it on twisted what that means, and we're not trying to do it. And you want a man who is going to love you the way that God loves the church, because we forget to read the second part of that scripture where it says, "Wives, submit you to your husbands." So y'all come on in here on that day, and don't be scared. We're gonna have some real good conversation, and we're going to do some looking in the mirror and digging deep, ladies. And I'm really so excited. I am so thrilled to have these two beautiful queens working with me on this event. It is just it makes me smile so much inside and out, and I just love you both so much. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. One thing we haven't talked about is the panel.
Oh, girl, thank you. Because I would be remiss if I didn't mention the brothers. So, yes, thank you so much. Ladies, we will indeed have a panel of gentlemen for you to
Ooh.
ask questions, but we want to hear what their experience has been dating us. Because we are quick to throw some shade, but we might need to pull back the curtain a little bit and see what it's like on the other side. And I think that's really important to get their perspective and to hear from them, because we are talking about this is a two-way street, and we want to give 100 and we want a man to give 100 too. We need to know what that looks like for them. So we're going to have a panel of young of gentlemen who are going to come and spend a little time with us and share their thoughts and answer questions, and even we're going to give them an opportunity to ask questions too. So
Are you going to
it's
have security?
yeah, we're going to have security. I know. Look, we might have to have them sign a waiver. We might have to have them sign a waiver to non-disclosure and ND, right?
Right.
I love it. That's so awesome. Yes, ma'am. So let us tell you how you get in the room. You can go to the website, my website, which is I'm going to find and put it right here for you in the chat. So here's how you can connect with me to register for the event. Oh, what did I just do? There we go. Let's see. All right. Connect with Sean LeRae. Well, you can connect with Sean LeRae and you can register for the event at livinglovedhealing.org. You go there, you'll click on event calendar and it will pop up. Click on check availability and it'll take you to the date. We're also going to do an Eventbrite. I'm sort of still debating. I think everybody live should register on the website. And if you want to come virtually, we'll have you register on Eventbrite. The link will be there for you. It will be super simple. So tell your cousins, your aunties, your sister friends from all over the country, because we really want to make this a great event. So again, it's livinglovedhealing.org. Click on event calendar, click on check availability, and the date will pop up and you can register from there. It is April 30th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Don't worry, we're going to feed you. We're going to take good care of you. You will leave there not only fed breakfast and lunch, but also your mind, body, spirit, and soul will be filled. So how do we find you ladies? I think I already have that, by the way. Let me see. I think okay, so
I
Chantel,
have one solution. My website is under construction. I should be up tomorrow. It should be back up tomorrow. It is onesolution.live.
All right. Let me see. We'll get that up for you in 1 second. So there's the piece again. Join us for Dating for the Soul, Sunday, April 30th, 8 to 5 PST. So if you're on the East Coast, keep in mind there's a 3-hour time difference, and do the math wherever you are. Central Time is 1 hour, two hours ahead of us over here, and Mountain Time is 1 hour ahead of us. So we'll get you on there. I like that. I need a moment to process that. Yes, Gigi, that came from BJ. Oops. Gwen, I'm trying to put you up and I'm about to put up everything. There we go. So this is where you're going to find Miss Gwendolyn Goodman. If you need some help with HR, or you need to learn more about your personality, then that's onesolution.live.
Yep.
And Chantel, Denise, where can we find you? Oh, you must be muted, darling.
It's already in the chat.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
Oh no, it's in the private. I see it.
Okay, I get it. I put it back. There it is. All righty. And this is where you will find Miss Chantal. Denise. at www.chanteldenise, and that's DENIESE.com. And so we look forward to you all joining us on April 30th. That's a Sunday, at our wonderful dating retreat, Dating from the Soul. So get that down, take pictures of that. Camellia says, it sounds like a great event. Yes, indeed. Who's that? Kim Anthony, love, love, love tonight's show. 3 of my favorite phenomenal women on the earth. Great conversation tonight. Whoop, whoop. Our coach.
Coach Kim.
Our coach.
Kim,
We love you.
Yes, and you all, if you are thinking, I felt a little parched. If you are considering that you might want to know what it looks like to coach, which is what all 3 of us ladies do, you might want to reach out to Miss Kim Anthony at the Urban Excellence Institute. And you can get, that is it. What's the website, Kim? Tell us again. Jackie says, yay, you all are awesome and have shared a wealth of knowledge. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, Jackie. We are looking forward to seeing you on the 30th. I love it. I love your energy. We need you in the room. So let's see. Do you all know the website for the Urban Excellence?
I think it's urbanexcellenceinstitute.org. I'm pretty sure we're
Is that right,
.org.
Kim?
I'm going to do it right quick because I had it set, so I never had to type it in.
Right. Let me know if that's it. Mm-hmm. Did she put it in? Exactly the closing remarks, Veronica said. Hey, sister. So I'm going to take a chance. Did anybody check it?
I'm checking it now. What I put in original, it's taking me to her LinkedIn. Doggone it. Okay, so that wasn't it. So let me see. It says Urban Excellence Institute. Let me see if it's on LinkedIn on her profile.
I think I got it. UrbanExcellence.net.
Oh, it's .net. You know what?
Yep.
It is .net. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I got it.
So that part.
So if you want to explore your journey as a coach, please go to urbanexcellence.net and learn more about the Urban Excellence Academy, which is where we were all certified to do the work that we do. And so it was not only a learning experience for us about how to coach, but it was a learning experience for us about who we actually are as human beings and as women, and all of that. And a lot of learning and growth was happening during those 9 months. So yes, true. We were rebirthed.
Yes, we were reborn. Absolutely.
Indeed. Well, ladies, I just really want to say how much I appreciate the 2 of you joining tonight on Boss Talk, and your amazing contributions that you will be sharing on the 30th. We are excited. Y'all come and have some fun with us.
Yes.
So we will see you there. And I just want to thank you once again for coming on to Boss Talk to be with us tonight. You could have been anywhere, and we are so grateful that you chose to spend your time with us. So this is your girl, Shawn LaRae, saying good night from Boss Talk. We'll be back next Wednesday and every Wednesday to follow, Lord willing, and that creek don't rise. So we're 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and do the math for the rest. We'll be right here. So y'all know what to do. Live loved. And shalom, y'all. Peace.